Our group is VAP.M, and I'm Vincent Go. I was responsible for the retrieval and the importing of prices, linear plotting, the program report, and the video.
Hi, my name is Ahmad Saleh. In this project, I worked on the plotting interface, the debugging, the EMA predictions, and the appendix and bibliography.
Hi, I'm Peter Chen. I worked on the GUI designing and programming. I also did the box plotting, the debugging, and the actual price retrieval.
So when you open up our files, we have 3 GUI scripts. You can run the first one, and in the first GUI, we have 3 things to choose from. We have a list for the commodity price indices, a list for the individual commodity prices, and a price comparison option. If you select the price comparison option, another GUI pops up. So you can pick one of the options. Let's say I pick copper. It will use an EMA function to determine the predicted price. And then if you input a date that's preferably not a weekend because the market is closed on the weekend, let's try 13, you can get an actual price. And so you can compare these two prices, the predicted and the actual, and they are somewhat similar. So if I go back to the original GUI and if I choose a item in either list, let's say fish meal, it will bring me to another GUI for graphing. And in this one, I can pick a certain month to graph over a period of available years from 1980 to 2013. So I'm going to choose January, and I'm going to plot it. And here a beautiful graph comes up with the titles and the axes labeled. I can also pick the years that I want to be graphed. So I'm going to choose 1990 and 2001. Again, another beautiful graph shows up with a title and an axes labeled. I can also make a box plot and I can plot it either quarterly or annually.
Alright, so for GUI 1, depending on what the user selects in the 2 list boxes, a string is assigned to the global variable name, and a number is assigned to the global variable called index. And because these are global, they'll be used in the next GUI. So after these variables are assigned, GUI 3 is opened.
After picking a commodity from GUI 1, GUI 3 will automatically pop up. And the first thing that is done is the commodity name is run through the database and in the global function, and that will tell you the number of amount of data that's available for that certain commodity in the given number of years. At the same time, the name of the function, the name of the commodity, will be displayed on top of the GUI. After this is done, what will happen is a function for the variable pick is created. Pick will become a variable, and pick is a variable that represents the months for the commodity. And so you run through a for loop, and depending on the month that you choose, a number is representative of every month. So in this case, month 1 is January, of course. And for that month, given the 3 variables, the name of the commodity, the month, and the number of years, it'll run through the loaded import data cell, which is this external price table, and it will tell you the price of that commodity for all the months, all of that one month, and all of the years that there is data for. Now that all the data is now compiled into a single vector, we are able to plot all the prices for that single month over, for example, 1980 to 2012, which is all the data we are given in the imported data. And you are given a Wall Street type plot of the prices, how they fluctuate throughout those years.
For a plot by year function, the global variables name and index are once again caught up, and then the variables begin year and end year are set equal to whatever the user types in. Then we load up import data cell and we make the cell's price table and unit table, which are just indexed from the original import data cell. So price val is the matrix form of price table, but it's indexed so that it's only a single column that holds all the prices of a single commodity per month. And then so y is set equal to price val index between the beginning year and the ending year. X is then set up as a linspace for the beginning year to the end year in the length of y. This is just for the box plot function. The global variables name and index are caught up again. The variables begin year b and end year b are set to equal whatever the user inputs. Begin val b holds the index at the January of that year. So once again, import data cell is loaded up. We index out unit table and price table. Price val 2 holds the single column of the prices of that commodity. And then this for loop function basically creates this matrix. We need this type of matrix to be able to conduct the box plot. So this matrix is basically all the prices of that singular commodity, but indexed in a way so that each row is for 1 month and each column is for a single quarter or a year. So this is done by setting Q and W to maintain a steady interval between months. So in this case, Q is equal to 0 and W is equal to 2 to maintain a quarterly interval. And then, so we just use the box plot function to plot it. And since the quarterly box plot is really tight, we decided to set the plot style to compact. The annual box plot is the same thing as the quarterly box plot, except instead of setting W to 2, we set to 11 to keep an interval of 1 year.
Now onto the price comparison tool. You begin by setting the global variable choice to represent the commodity that it will be chosen. And now we go into the EMA function itself, and we begin by importing the import data cell, and you set a for loop for the variable k and v. V is representing the dimensions of the imported data cell, and we chose to go from 2 to 405 because we want to go up to the month of August. And then k is this given expression because after a couple times of trial and error, we found out that this expression gives us the most accurate representation of the prediction. And so after doing that, you go into the polyfit and polyval, and what polyfit and polyval should do is predict the price of the commodity in September. Created a new matrix from the Wall Street Journal actual prices, and we index the choice, which is the commodity, and then we index the day, which is the day of the month of September. And with those two things, you are able to get the actual price for whatever day in September you like for a given commodity.